Hi, everyone. Do you know what is genetically modified organism? Let's find out the answer together. Genetically modified organism, also known as GMO, is organism in which the genetic material, DNA, has been altered in a non-natural way by mating or natural recombination. For example, genetically modified rice and genetically modified maize. How GMO impact the society? By using less land, water, and pesticides, GM crops allow farmers to produce affordable food, which reduce farmers' input costs, while also resulting in higher crop yields. Nowadays, many GM crops are accessible and available on local and international market. Thus, GM crops help in boosting economy and agricultural sector. Now let us see the technology used to create the genetically modified organisms. The type of technology used to create GMOs are usually called as modern biotechnology or gene technology. Sometimes they can also be called recombinant DNA technology or genetic engineering. This technology allows selected individual genes to be transferred from one organism to another, and it is between non-related species. Other than that, it also creates a genetically modified organism that wouldn't have occurred in nature or via the traditional crossbreeding method. The engineered organisms produced by transferring genes between species are called transgenic. They do not breed in the garden. Now moving into the steps on how genetically modified crops are produced. Generally, the cells are grown in tissue culture where they develop into plants. The seeds produced by these plants will then inherit the new DNA. GM plant requires the transfer of DNA into a plant cell by two methods. The first method is coating the surface of small metal particles with the relevant DNA fragment and bombard the particles into the plant cells. The second one is using bacterium or virus.
Now, why are genetically modified plants important to us and how do they benefit society? Let's take a look. Firstly, we get to develop and grow more nutritional crops. This means we can have a lot more vitamins and minerals in the fruits and vegetables we grow. Next, we get to grow and create better tasting crops. For example, we can engineer sweeter tasting strawberries or sour tasting oranges. In addition, with the powerful technology we have, we can grow more crops and food will become less scarce. This means there can be enough food for everyone. Lastly, GMOs can help decrease carbon dioxide emissions to the environment. In other words, genetically modified crops create a more sustainable and better tasting source of food. We ought to appreciate this technology as it brings us one step closer to a brighter future. So maybe you are wondering, is there any way to tell if seeds have been genetically modified without necessarily buying organic seeds? Here's the answer for you. The best resource for avoiding genetically modified seeds is the list of seed companies that have signed the Safe Seed Pledge. But what is the pledge about? Safe Seed Pledge was created in 1999 by a group of seed companies to state their position on genetically engineered GMO seeds. Over 100 seed sellers have signed the pledge, in which they promise to not knowingly buy, sell or trade genetically engineered seeds. The World Health Organization states that the safety assessment of GM foods generally focuses on few factors, which includes whether the food could be toxic, and also their nutritional value, whether they could cause an allergic reaction, the stability of inserted gene, nutritional effects associated with genetic modification, and lastly is any unintended effects which could result from the gene insertion.
Here comes the end of our presentation. Thank you all for listening.